Welcome again to the Old Principle. Today's lesson, can we say, is really good English, but also you're going to learn a little bit about America in the process. For instance, in America, we have a lot of what we call 美国习惯用语 idioms. These are 至少在表面上看得不太明白. So on the surface, it's kind of difficult to figure out what in the world it means. That is an idiom. Today, we're going to use an idiom. But before we do, we need to have somebody read the story, and then we will do the idiom and a few other things too. So here she is.
Thank you. Pancake, flat bread, usually eaten at breakfast, cooked in a skillet on top of the stove. It's usually spread with butter and something sweet like honey or jam. A pancake is often used to describe the flatness of other things or places. My friend, we'll call him Ken, decided to drive across America and see some of the many beautiful sights. He began in St. Louis, Missouri, where he visited the Gateway Arch. The arch commemorates the pioneers who left that city on their treks into the western regions of America. The arch is made of stainless steel and stands 600 feet tall. Its convex shape can be seen for many miles. After crossing Missouri, Ken entered Kansas, considered the breadbasket of America. He drove mile after mile through fields of wheat and corn and many other types of grains. Kansas lies in the center of continental America. Its rolling hills are part of the Great Plains, a vast plateau that covers almost 1/4 of mainland America. After driving about 200 miles, Ken entered the state of Oklahoma. This state has a peculiar history. Other Great Plains states were settled as people arrived from the populated eastern areas, while Oklahoma was closed to settlement. But one day, authorities decided to open it to homesteaders. A homestead was a parcel of land covering 160 acres, or 650,000 square meters, for which a person could register. The land was free. All that you had to do was choose the area you liked, register it, and it became your land. I'm told that on the day scheduled for the opening, thousands of people lined the border waiting for the signal to enter and to find their homestead. Continuing his drive west, Ken began to enter an area where there didn't seem to be any hills. As far as his eyes could see, the only, quote, hills were man-made bridges. Ken agreed with many who had passed that way before. Western Oklahoma is as flat as a pancake.
We finally get to the pancake at the end. As flat as a pancake is a way of saying very flat.
Yes.
So, but we're going to talk a lot about America and a little bit about traveling today. So you're free for a few moments?
Okay.
And we'll just begin. Number 142, as flat as a pancake. This is the actual idiom. As flat as a pancake. Okay, going on. A pancake. Okay, Hey, why don't we go back to the last picture? Let me just, this is a pancake. Now, I'm going to describe it in English, but this is a pancake. And we usually eat it at breakfast, 早餐吃的. Okay, so do you notice it's quite flat, right? It's not round like a piece of bread. 不像面包，这个是有平面的，有平平的。Okay, now we go on with it. Here is what a pancake is. It's flat bread. So it's 平的. It's flat bread being, we say 煎饼, 煎饼. Okay, usually eaten at breakfast. I just said that. Okay, cooked in a skillet. 煎锅. Of course, you have 煎饼, so you have the 煎锅. The skillet makes it. It's flat. So you make a pancake there on top of the stove. 在这个炉子上面. Going on. It's usually spread with butter. Spread. 涂上什么? 涂上什么? Spread. You spread. 涂上. Okay, butter, 黄油. That's butter, 黄油. And something sweet. 一些甜的东西，好像蜂蜜 honey. And, or, 或者 jam, 这个果酱. So, let's see. Did we have any? We didn't have any jam this morning. I didn't have any jam this morning. But we often have jam in the morning. Only in the morning. We don't use it any other part of the day, usually. Okay, a pancake is used to describe the flatness of other things and places. And this is the point, because you will see it later on, flat as a pancake. So it describes, 是形容某一个东西的 flatness, 不是凸出来的, 不是凸出来的. Going on. My friend, we'll call him Ken, 我的朋友名叫 Ken, decided to drive across America, 要穿越美国开车子. Okay? And see some of the many beautiful sights, 美丽的景点, 风景. A sight is a 风景, okay? In this case, 风景, 美丽的风景. Going on. He began at St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri 州的 St. Louis. Missouri 州的 St. Louis, where he visited the Gateway Arch. What is the Gateway Arch? Well, you have to look in your dictionary, but if you look in your dictionary or 上网, go on the internet, it is 立地大拱门. Okay, an arch. An arch is 拱门. Okay, 拱门 as an arch. Okay, now, the arch, going on, that's right. The arch commemorates 纪念. Okay, 纪念, commemorates. That's a hard way, a long word, isn't it? Commemorates. Can you say that? That's a big long word. Commemorates the pioneers, 这个先锋. Okay, these are the first people, 先锋. These are the first people that went there, that left the city, 就离开 St. Louis 的城市 on their treks. What is a trek? Well, if you want a simple way of saying it, it's a trip. 一个旅行. Okay, a trek. You could also say 长途跋涉. Although I'm not sure that my Chinese is right, but anyway, 长途跋涉, it's a trip, 是旅行. In fact, trip and trek are almost the same. In my estimation, they're the same. Okay, they're long treks, they're long trips into the western regions. 区域这个西方的这个区域 of America, 美国的西部. Okay, go ahead. The arch is made of 这个拱门呢is made of stainless steel 不锈钢 stainless 不锈钢 Actually, we've been in it. Mrs. Ash and I actually went in there, and we went all the way up. What does it say? Oh, it says, the next slide will say 600 feet tall. So, no, here it is right here. 600 feet tall. And so you go up, and it's a little car that kind of goes up, all the way up 600 feet. And then when you get way up at the top, there's a few little windows, and you can look out. 有小小的窗户, you can look out the windows. Okay, now it is, and this is important, it is a convex shape. 凸形 is a 凸形. Now, if you said concave, what's the opposite? Convex 的相反是什么? Concave, 凹形的. But this is 凸形的. So this is convex. Okay? Shape. Now, you think about arches. Have you ever heard of McDonald's? Fast food restaurant? How do you say? 麦当劳. You can go there and eat 汉堡包 if you like, if you're hungry. But do you know that their 标记 or whatever you call it is an arch 拱门, but it's two. We call it the golden 金的拱门, but it's two. 1, 2. Now, you'll have to go. McDonald's in America is everywhere. But you can even find McDonald's in China. You can find McDonald's, of course, many places, McDonald's in Hong Kong. Okay, so it's a convex shape, and it can be seen for many miles. So it's very tall, and people for many miles, 很远的地方都可以看到. Go ahead. After crossing Missouri, Ken entered Kansas. 经过这个 Missouri 州过了以后就进入 Kansas 州 Considered the breadbasket of America. Okay, do you know what a basket is? 篮子. Okay, 篮子, something you put things in. And you could put bread in it. But breadbasket simply means 腹地, means this is where a lot of America's food comes from. Breadbasket of America. Going on. He drove mile after mile. 1英里再来1英里. He kept driving and driving through fields of wheat. Okay, 田地是有什么呢? 麦子 and 玉米 and many other types of grains. 还有很多不同的这个五谷类的植物 plants, you know, so there are many different kinds going on. Now, Kansas lies in the middle of continental America. Kansas is the center of 美洲大陆. Continental America. 美洲的 大陆. Continent is 大陆, and of course you 加一个 AL, continental America. Its rolling hills are part of the Great Plains. Rolling hills. What is a rolling hill? A rolling hill is 一些丘陵, okay, 波状的丘陵, 波状的 like waves, okay, like 波浪 waves, okay. Rolling hills are part of 大平原. 平原, of course, is the 大平原 is the Great Plains. Sometimes we say the Great Plains States, the Great Plains States, which means that 反正很多州 are in that part of America, okay? It's a vast plateau. What is a plateau? 高原. 高原 is, the top is flat, but it's up high. It's called a vast. Whoa, what is vast? Big. 这个广大的, very big. Okay? It covers almost 1/4 of mainland America. 这个涵盖就是包括美国1/4, 1/4 of mainland America. Now, when we say mainland America, we say America, but not Alaska, because Alaska is a very big state. So we're talking about mainland. Sometimes in English we say the lower 48, the lower 48 州. So going on. After driving about 200 miles, 开车开的200英里, Ken entered the state of Oklahoma. Oklahoma 州, the state has a 奇特的历史, a very interesting history. Okay, going on. Other Great Plains states, 大平原的州, were settled as people arrived. In other words, when people arrive, 他们到达某一个地方, they settled. 他们就居住. Okay, settled means that they just settled down and started living there. Okay, so when people arrived, they lived there. They just started living there. Okay, and they from the populated eastern areas. So 东部是有很多人，东部有很多人因此呢，从东部他们就跑到西部没有人的地方。In fact, while Oklahoma, and they arrived in all of these places, 但 while, in this case we say 但是, or you could even say but, Oklahoma was close to settlement. 等于说 Oklahoma 州你不能这个居住那个地方 you can't live there until 政策就变了 the policy was changed. Going on, but one day 有一天 the authorities 当局的这个首长们 okay, these are the people that run the government. They decided to open it to homesteaders. Okay, what is a homesteader? A homestead, first of all, forget the ER. A homestead is 农庄啊，农庄啊。 But what is a homesteader? A homesteader is a 农庄主. It's a person that's going to 开垦一个地方，发展一个地方, and he's going to live there. A homestead was a parcel of 一块地. Parcel 是一块地 covering 160英亩地, or how many is 65万平方公尺? Okay, 160 acres, which a person could register. So, 只要你登记，请问你要给多少钱？要给多少钱？ Next one. The land was absolutely free. The land was free. All you had to do was choose the area. Choose the area. 选你喜欢的地方，登记它， and it became your land. I think there was a rule that said 你必须开垦，你必须发展10年. 10 years. You had to do that to make it a useful place. But it was free. Going on. I'm told on the day scheduled, okay, on the day scheduled, okay, in this case, 有一天有计划 schedule for the opening, 开放那个地方. Actually, I've seen a picture. Actually, I saw an old, I don't know what it was. It was an old picture or something. Anyway, all the people were lined up there. My, they were lined up there, all ready to go, because on the other side of the line, 过这条线, everything was free. So many people, thousands of people decided to line up that day. Thousands of people lined up. 他们是排队排了好长，好像他们要比赛一样. Just like in a race, when they're running, they're all on the line, waiting for the signal. Okay, 那个信号。等到听到这个信号，或人家的吹号筒还是怎么样啊？And when they heard the 信号, they would rush. And I remember seeing just a cloud of dust. 就很多这个灰尘. Why? Because thousands of people are running to find their new home. Okay? Their homestead. Homestead 是160英亩. And if you say, this is my place, I like this place, then you can be there. If nobody else is there. If somebody else is there, then you have to find something else. Going on. Okay, now we're back to Ken. He's driving. He's driving his car. Ken began to enter an area where he didn't seem to see any hills. 好像看不到任何一个丘陵呢。没有丘陵。Whoa, no hills. Nothing there. As far as his eye could see, 他眼睛能够看得见的 the only hills were man-made bridges. 它唯一的丘陵. But notice, this is English does this a lot of times. So when you're studying it, 当你学英语的时候，有时候表面上是很简单. Hills is a hill. It's not a mountain. It's a hill. 是丘陵. It's not very big. But when you see something with quotation marks around it, like this, you know that 表面上不是这样. Because 表面上, a hill is a 丘陵, it's a small mountain, it's something that goes up. But in this case, these hills were man-made, which means what? Which means, in this case, all they were bridges, 桥梁, okay? All they could see was the tops of bridges. Okay? 桥梁, 叫桥梁. And that's all they could see. So, Ken agreed, 他就同意很多以前经过这个地方的人所说的了. And now we come, after a half an hour of teaching you, finally we come to the final thing. Western Oklahoma, Oklahoma 州的西部 is as flat as a pancake. Western Oklahoma is a very flat place, as flat as a jianbing is flat. I hope you enjoyed our little tour of America. So at this point, what I'm going to do is tell you that you can write to me. Why don't you write to me and invite me to come visit you, and I will come visit you. Because the only way you can tell me is to write an email to me at theoldprinciple@gmail.com. Or you can go at our website, www.theoldprinciple.org. Hey, I've enjoyed spending a little time with you, introducing America to you, and I hope that you'll join us again next time.